Don't blink.
In the headlines tonight,
at least now we have a list of more 12 to 15.
Police on the hand 18 people who appeared in surveillance video before murder of Uganda Christian University student.
Some of us are worried how issue of BODA turns out to be a security matter.
Opposition members of parliament oppose SAGA plan to regulate border transport and street vendors. Forum for Democratic Change's Moses Atana, nominated as Sorority City East by-election, vows to win again.
But we are going to prove a case that shall win a lawyer.
They'll be on their feet in Georgia.
And in sports, Joshua Cheptegei stands again at World Athletics Championship as he defends 10,000-meter title.
Good evening and welcome to PM edition here on CTV. Today is Monday, the 18th of July, 2020. My name is Agi with Isaac Lutamzi on sign language. Kickstarting tonight's edition, the Uganda police force is scaling up efforts in the investigation of the slain Uganda Christian University student G.O.A.T, are revealing that so far 18 suspects are being monitored through footage captured on CCTV camera. The student who was stabbed with a bottle during the Makerere University field campaign was laid to rest yesterday in Kamwenge district.
Yesterday, G.O.A.T, the slain law student from Uganda Christian University, was laid to rest in Malere village, Biguri sub-county in Kamwenge district, just days after the unfortunate incident that claimed his life during the Makerere University Guild election campaigns. While addressing journalists today at the weekly press briefing, publicist Fred Nanga revealed that they are still investigating the incident, revealing that they have made significant strides.
Our joint task team continues to investigate the murder of the UCU student, which occurred in Makerere. Our joint task teams from CID, Intelligence, Parliament Metropolitan, CMI ISO continue to actively investigate this murder of Tungura Bewati, a 27-year-old former law student of UCU.
According to Enga, police have so far compiled a list of 15 suspects from footage that was generated through CCTV cameras and video footage.
Further efforts are in place to trace the perpetrators of violence that are still at large. At least now we have a list of more than 12, 15 of those external perpetrators of violence. We are also interesting ourselves in the student brigades within the university. One of the brigades is called the Northcote Revolutionary Army.
According to police, 3 people are in custody in connection with the crime. These include Sanda South MP Fred Kabuye, Alan Sechid, and Kabura Zafaru as investigations continue.
We are charging so far the 3 suspects arrested, that is Honorable Kabuye Frank, the MP Kasanda Sekid, and Kabura Muzaffar, with incitement to violence. They are expected to appear in court today. As we consolidate the facts surrounding the brutal murder of the victim.
Following the arrest of the MP Frank, his colleagues from the National Unity Platform have called for a speedy investigation and a trial for the legislator.
It's very unfortunate and regrettable, and we condole with the family. He was buried yesterday. We have information. So with the information that the Honorable Kabuye was arrested from Makerere University, we don't have details on the charges, but we have information that is at CPS, and the Honorable Kabuye has been visited by a number of members of parliament.
Up to today, he has not produced in court. He has not been produced in court. This is also unfortunate. It violates provisions in the Constitution, and yet we have been pushing for constitutionalism and rule of law. The government is obliged to always respect provisions of the Constitution.
Bewa Tebetora was stabbed with a broken bottle in the neck around 7 p.m. during the last G.O.A.T presidential open campaigns at Makerere University Rugby Ground. G.O.A.T presidential aspirants had to attend one rally prior to Friday, July 15, 2022 polls, which were later postponed due to the murder incident. The political camps, National Unity Platform and Forum for Democratic Change are, however, blaming one another for having been the cause of the deceased's death. The video was compiled by Patel Ahumuza for CTV PM Edition.
Very unfortunate incident that may his soul rest in peace. Moving on, the Executive Director of the Uganda Heart Institute, Dr. John Omagino, asked members of Parliament to rein in on encroachers that have taken 1 acre, 10 acres that was allocated to the institute. Members of Parliament sitting on the Health Committee of Parliament today inspected the land located in NAKAWA-NAGURU as part of the procedure to approve a 300 billion shilling loan for infrastructure development, especially the construction of the Heart Institute.
Members of the Health Committee, led by the Kobo Municipality Member of Parliament, Dr. Charles Ayome, today inspected the NAKAWA-NAGURU land, which offered to Uganda Heart Institute for the construction of a specialized facility for people suffering from heart complications.
On behalf of Ugandans, land is what is there. The rest is now in implementation.
While inspecting the land, it came to light that encroachers had managed to take one of the 10 acres of land over to the Heart Institute. According to Dr. John Omagino, the Executive Director of Uganda Heart Institute, encroachers used COVID-19 lockdown to put up a wall fence and a container and vote never to leave until their demands are met.
As of now, land available is enough for start the project. We have 7.5 acres under what effective control, so the project can go. But we will be very grateful that Tendo and his team give us account position of that.
In his response, the chairperson of the Health Committee of Parliament revealed that they will summon all the parties in the matter to Parliament to hear what they have to say on the matter.
Committee will invite them to Parliament to listen to their side of the story. I think it's important, and it's also a good formality that we interact with any aggrieved party. But for us, this project has to go on.
While speaking out on the matter, members of the committee asked ENCROACHERS to vacate the land.
As a medical doctor, I know that the people have heard the names we have heard from the background, Prince Tendo and others. At you know, they got a heart. Once the heart has got a problem, it should be taken care of in this Heart Institute. Therefore, it is important that people give chance to government, give chance to the Uganda Heart Institute to construct this and have a one center.
This project is going to serve many Ugandans. It's not a private property, it's going to be a public property.
And we pledge to support to Heart Institute. We are behind them to access this loan and they start off work as required.
Dr. Ayume is also advocating for the health to become a medical health village.
Help in our medical tourism. When we advertise that we have a medical village, okay, I think that is something we need to look into, and I hope that in the near future we do not get 15-story buildings.
If constructed, the hospital will be a one-stop center for treating heart diseases. CTV PM Edition.
of Parliament, the opposition in Parliament have today announced plans to table a petition on the floor of Parliament challenging a decision made by the Minister of Kampala and Kampala capital city officials to rid the city of border riders, hawkers in Kampala city. We have the details.
Last week, Kampala Capital Director Chisaka revealed that they were planning to allow a small number of hawkers to operate in the tax parks to register and allow only 7,000 border cyclists to operate within the city. This revelation has since raised a number of eyebrows, especially from members from the opposition. According to the Shadow Minister for Kampala, Abeka Kawalya, the criteria that is going to be used to select those who will be allowed to operate in the city is not yet clear.
We recently received a communication from Kampala Authority that they again recalled these vendors and they had a meeting, and just a few of those vendors are supposed to be given the opportunity to operate within the old taxi park. We didn't know the procedure is going to be used to select those who are going to operate. We have not received any communications as leaders of Kampala on how this operation is going to be carried out. We also received another challenge to the border industry. The Minister of Kampala reported that they had directives from the Security Council to evict most of the border cyclists in the Central Business District. Some of us are worried on how the issue of the border turns out to be a security matter.
While addressing journalists in Parliament today, members from the opposition revealed that they are going to convene a meeting of border cyclists to forge a way forward.
We all know that the unemployment gap margin is rising day to day, and the government has decided to put it high by evicting border guys out of town.
But when not involved the elected members of Parliament, what they are doing wrong and is unacceptable. We are not with them, but we know one thing, that the people in the government does not want to work with the opposition. Think that working with us is a weakness. But we want to tell them today that a broken clock is right twice a day.
And this deal of chasing our border men from respective stages is being done as a rewarding tool for the crime preventers, for the good job done on their side to reach votes and violate the rights of Ugandans during the election season.
Also asked government not to rush to evict border riders from the city.
Just trying to strive and sustain their families. And this is one of the options that our people have. Now we are playing tricks. So if we have not done our mandate as a country to help our people derive something, let's not bring order now. It's not necessary. And then some people have been rejected, and a lot of money is requested from them. Even the mandate of the institutions that are deriving this money from these people, they are not okay. We are not sure of their operations.
Last week, the Mayor of Kampala, Elias Nkwago, and councillors petitioned the Heart of Uganda for the intervention issue of regulating cyclists and the eviction of vendors from the street. According to the mayor, the move was being ahead by the Minister for Kampala, Kabuye, and the RSC, Kampala Luaga, is league and TV.
Following the sudden death of Kampala Central Division Councillor James Koza, who was shot to death on Saturday, leaders of the different groups of border riders have come out to urge KCCA to expedite the enactment of bylaws that will guide transport in Kampala.
On Saturday morning, known violence attacked another James Kakoza along Yusuf Road near Central Park as he was participating in his morning jog. 8th of the KCC Central Division, James Kakoza, has continued to his eyebrows, and yesterday during a special mass held in honor, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robert Banja, decided the need to organize the border in Kampala because of their alleged involvement in crime. Yes, what council are believed to have been moving borders, another key indicator of criminality. To distance themselves from acts of rogue elements, leaders of border groups in Kampala are asking KCC to expedite the process of regulating the motorcycle taxis.
Omuvuzi wa boda afaanagana nga nze bwendi. Oyigonza olugalo n'ogamba oyo wa boda. Uniform oba ya safe boda oba ya uba.
Twateeka ne tutulumya uniform ezo zibeera nga zaawula vuzi. Ono muvuzi wa boda ono si muvuzi wa boda. Eyo uniform yeyawula omuntu eyina erinnya lyayo nga bakodi buli kimu kwekiri. Naye era baffe bakikuba.
Olw'ensonga uniform eno omuntu aba alabiddwako ng'agyambadde ne bw'aba yenyiga mu bumenyi bw'amateeka kamera z'okukuba ensolo omulala ne identifying nga
State Minister of Kampala, Chofatuga, and the Deputy Resident Commissioner for Lubaga have been spearheading the campaign, which is currently being challenged by the mayors in the courts of law.
An order of society is the prerogative writ or prerogative order pushing all the decisions that have been which are illegal, which are travailleurs, which are rational, which are reasonable.
As we speak now, we have enough. We don't need more evidence. What we have is enough. Ever since the Lord Mayor put his case in the court, it has stopped people from being hacked. It has stopped people from being killed. It has not stopped people from being driven into unnecessary accidents.
The spokesperson of police, Fred Nana, says investigations are still ongoing on the matter.
It was a plan had been master enemies. We are aware of the great role that he was performing in Kamo Church Zone. He's one of those who was working with the community, local councils to rid the area of criminals and gang crime. But of course, at this stage, we don't have the clear motivation towards his murder, but we are working on leads that we have already gathered.
According to the State Minister for Kampala, they have managed to train and reach at least 4,000 border riders, a number they say still very low. Safi Mokele Balukunis, Semale Musemakula for CTV, PM Edition.
Thank you for being with us. PM Edition takes a short break, but we'll be right back with more stories. Don't blink. platform.
Outside Soroti City's Member of Parliament and member of the For Democratic Change Party, Moses Tan, was first to make his to the Soroti Electoral Commission offices for nomination. Tan was escorted by members of the opposition, including members of the National Unity Platform Party. After his nomination, Tan addressed journalists, saying that he is ready to defend his position after court nullified his victory over issues to do with territorial boundaries.
If you fit somebody in the first round and doesn't accept defeat, you go to defeat him in the second round. I'm going to move door to door, house to house, village to village to win this election because I was notified on grounds that so. I wasn't in parliament, I wasn't in the local government, I had no role in matters of boundary. We are going to prove this, that we shall win our loyalty, we shall win our PI, and we shall win the wards we won, and we shall return to parliament. The election is to prove that the people who voted in 2021 are still alive, and they will be louder and clear.
President of the Forum for Democratic Change Party, Patrick Oboya Muriat, was among people who came to show his candidate support.
We're going to see this election. This is a by-election that we have been hosted to. The whole pattern is being nominating a second time here in less than 5 years for a fault that was keys. And we think that this is a case that was mismatched, and we are going to prove our strength in this by-election.
Moses Tan will be facing off with Herbert Edmond Ariko from the National Resistance Movement after the National Unity Platform Party decided to pull out of the race in favor of FDC. The NRM Vice Chairperson, Eastern Region Captain Mike Mugula, believes they are going to the election.
Tetwagala okulabira ekintu kyonna ekiri baki bakuba ku fujjo. Twagala bakakasiza ddala nti no NRM era ffe tubeteefeteefu okuba FDC n'enkoona enywere.
Security in the area has already been beefed up ahead of the election to deter any chaos and to help quell any riot or protests that may break out. Tomorrow, NRM candidate Herbert Edmond Ariko will be nominated to contest the election. They're expected to be heated.
The Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, Frank Twaze, has revealed that government is planning to phase out budgeting for large-scale irrigation at the expense of on-farm irrigation. According to the Minister, large-scale irrigation is not yielding the needed results as compared to investment.
In the country, which has many people on the verge of dying in some parts of the country, many experts are attributing the crisis to rudimentary means farming until rainfall harvest. In a short solution to the problem, members of the civil society, government and wishes run to the aid of the affected individuals with food supplies. Despite the challenges, the Minister of Agriculture and Industries and Fisheries, Frank Weber, says the ministry is planning to give out irrigation equipment to cover the situation.
Our plan, if Ministry of Finance supports us, we shall be giving a tractor loan. We can be giving a motorable irrigation on farm, a motorable on farm irrigation, which can serve like a parish, let's say 10 to 20 people. Pump, they pump, they pump, they pump. That's the strategy we have.
According to the Minister, large-scale irrigation projects have chewed up a chunk of government funds but have yielded nothing.
We no longer want to invest big money in big irrigation schemes because it's no longer sustainable as a strategy of irrigation. The farmers are scattered, land is individualized. Investing billions of shillings in a big irrigation scheme takes $.
Mr. made these remarks while handing over 2 tractors to women groups from Karamoja and Bugwe regions. The 2 tractors that government over 140 million Uganda shillings each will be used for plowing, harvesting, planting, among others.
You can gather and say you have 3 acres, you have 4, 5, you have 6. So in total, you make 30, you are as good as the other cash of big farmer. And my if deliberately registering those farming entities, churches, various institutions, schools with big land that are willing to put into production. That's how I feed the country, feed the region, and the national market sustainably.
Only 34.6% of Uganda's land is arable. The minister said if such agricultural machines are used in the arable land, an increase in food production will be registered. Ramson Mhire, CTV PM edition.
Thank you, Ramson, for that report. Moving on to our regional news tonight, Ghana declared an outbreak of Marburg virus disease after 2 cases of the hemorrhagic fever, almost as deadly as Ebola, have been recorded, while the death toll from days of tribal clashes in southern Sudanese province came to at least 65 people. We have the details. 2 cases of the Marburg virus disease and hemorrhagic fever, almost as deadly as Ebola, have been recorded in Ghana, the first ever in the country, health authorities announced on Sunday. On July 8th, blood samples from 2 people in the southern Ashanti region suggested the Marburg virus, and the samples had been sent to the Pasteur Institute in Dakar for confirmation, the Ghana Health Service said. The 98 people identified as contact cases are currently under quarantine, the statement added, noting that no other Marburg cases have been detected among them so far. Health authorities say they are doing everything possible to protect the health of the population, calling for the cooperation of all to ensure that the virus is effectively contained. The Marburg virus disease is transmitted to humans by fruit bats and is spread in humans through direct contact with the body fluids of infected people or with surfaces and materials, according to the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization announced in September 2021 the end of the first episode of Marburg virus in West Africa, 42 days after the identification of a single case in Guinea. Sporadic outbreaks of cases had previously been reported elsewhere in Africa, including Angola, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The onset of the disease is sudden, with high fever, severe headache, and event malaise. Case fatality rates have ranged from 24% to 88% in previous outbreaks, depending on the virus strain and case management, according to the World Health Organization. Although there are no approved vaccines or antiviral treatments for the virus, oral and intravenous dehydration and treatment of specific symptoms improve survival rates. The death toll from days of tribal clashes in southern Sudanese province climbed at least 65 people. The fighting between the Hausa and Bata ethnic groups in the Blue Nile province also injured around 150 others, said Gamal Nasser Al-Said, the province's health minister. He told the Associated Press that most of the dead were young men who were shot or stabbed. Al-Said urged authorities in the capital, Khartoum, to help airlift 50 seriously injured, as hospitals in the Blue Nile lack advanced equipment and life-saving medicine. The fighting in the Blue Nile grew out of the killing of a farmer earlier last week and continued through Saturday, according to the local government. Authorities deployed the military and paramilitary rapid support forces to bring stability to the region. They also imposed a nightly curfew and banned gatherings in towns of Rosé and Damazin, where the clashes took place. Local media reported that thousands of people fled their homes since the clashes began last week. The fighting was the latest tribal violence to hit Sudan, which is in turmoil since the military took over in a coup in October 2021. In our international news tonight, Western France is facing a heat apocalypse as extreme temperatures continue to hit much of Europe, while the U.S. state of Florida, a young man who gunned down 70 people at his former high school, could possibly get the death penalty. Western France is facing a heat apocalypse. Experts have warned
as extreme temperatures continue to hit much of Europe. Temperatures could reach record levels in 15 regions of the southwest, with firefighters battling wildfires and thousands forced to evacuate. Blazes in Spain, Portugal, and Greece have forced thousands more to flee. Record temperatures are expected in parts of the UK, which has its first ever red extreme heat warning in place. Wildfires in France in recent days have forced over 16,000 people to flee the area, with emergency shelters for is. Gironde, a popular tourist region in the southwest, has been hit particularly bad, with firefighters battling to control fires, which have destroyed over 34,000 acres of land since last Tuesday. A young man who gunned down 70 people at his former high school in Florida went on trial in southern U.S. state on Monday, with jurors set to hand down either the death penalty or a life sentence. Nicholas Cruz took an AR-15 assault rifle in Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on Valentine's Day in 2018 and killed 17 students and staff members. Cruz, who was 19 at the time of the shooting, has already pleaded guilty to 17 counts of first-degree murder and 17 counts of attempted murder for those wounded during the massacre. The trial in Fort Lauderdale, a rare instance of a mass shooter, faced the jury as they often either take their own lives or are killed by police, being held to determine his sentence. The death penalty requires a unanimous decision by the jury. Cruz will otherwise be handed a life without parole.
PM Edition takes a short break, but we'll be right back with more stories from the world of sports. Don't go away. Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching PM Edition right here on CTV with me, Agise, and Isaac Luchamazi on sign language. Moving on to the world of sport, Uganda's Joshua Cheptegei successfully defended his 10,000 meters world title at the ongoing World Championship in Oregon, USA. He became the fourth man in history